JNU Fee Hike debate is a classic example of how debates get misguided in our country. We pick up some small issue and then we get fixated on that particular example. And all the arguments and counter arguments are usually very pointless. There is something big at stake, but we somehow don't talk about that big thing at stake. Let me talk about what the real issues are and what is a real possible solution to this. First thing first, the debate happens to have been triggered by JNU, but JNU is not the central focus of this debate. And fee hike or hostel fee is not the only matter being discussed here. This is almost exactly as happened in the Me Too movement. The debate started with some women who were clearly more privileged than most women in this country, whose experience brought out something which was much bigger. If these women experienced this, what would be the situation for all working women in this country? So that was a mirror to something bigger. That's exactly what's happening in JNU. JNU is not the poorest university in this country. All central universities are much, much better funded than any university run by a state government. The difference is shocking. And within central universities, JNU is slightly better funded than the rest. So JNU has more resources than most universities. What distinguishes JNU is not that JNU is poorer, but JNU tends to attract students who come from very ordinary background because of its history, because of its admission policy, because of its inclusive nature. Institutions like JNU, Hyderabad Central University, these places, although they are central institutions, but their catchment area is very large. They get students from very disadvantaged background as well. And they teach disciplines which are not market friendly. So it's not very easy to get loans because you got admission in JNU. JNU fees are also not the highest in the country. In spite of the increase, JNU fees would have been among the average fee in the country, not the highest. So what is the question? The question is, despite JNU being better off than others, despite JNU fees being not so high, not at the higher end in the country, it is still unaffordable. Why is that the question? It's very hard for urban people to understand this, especially those with a certain kind of background who say, we are taxpayers, why are you spending this much money? Just understand the basics. It so happened that yesterday the Government of India released this report. This is a report based on an all India survey on how much do people actually spend on education. This is a very extensive survey covered by Government of India itself. The cost of education for an average family. Now remember, what is the income of an average family? If you go by the recent NSSO survey, which has not been officially released, an average Indian family earns about 12,000 rupees a month, roughly like 1,40,000 rupees per year for a family of 5. Okay? What is the expenditure on education? This survey shows that if you go for a very, very elementary kind of a graduation, going next door to a college where you get practically no education, not a valuable degree, practically no job, the cost is at least 20,000 a year. If you go for a slightly better degree, some kind of a professional or technical degree, engineering, law, medicine, anything of that kind, where you have some chance of getting a job, then you are in the bracket of 50 to 70,000 rupees per year. And of course, as you know, if you go for somewhat top-end universities which give you slightly better private places, private medical institutions, private engineering institutions, the cost is anything between 1.5 lakh to anything, then sky is the limit. Now just think about it. Average annual income is 1,40,000 rupees for a family. And that family is spending let us say on the lower side, something like 50 to 70,000 rupees per annum for one child to get an education which has some possibility of getting a job. Now you understand why there is a problem. Why an increase from 32,000 in JNU to 56,000 is a very big matter. It is not as small as it looks to you and me. That increase of 24,000 rupees for this family where the income is 1,40,000 rupees a year is a matter of affordability and unaffordability. They are somehow struggling to make it affordable, and this additional 20,000 makes it unaffordable. This is not just JNU. This is all over the country. And that is the real question that we ought to be discussing, the cost of education. Education costs have been consistently increasing, and now the costs have reached a point where ordinary families, even when they struggle, they can't make it. And mind you, we're talking only the basic cost of education. We're not talking about any coaching, any extra tuition, and not even special coaching for jobs and these things, which are simply impossible. What is the solution? 4 things need to be done if we are at all serious about it, and fee is only a small part of it. Number 1, first of all, of course, university college fees should remain affordable. They should remain low. Someone would say, why keep it low? Why not actually support only those who need any special assistance? Do remember, those who need special support are anything around 80% or above. So if 80% students need it, you might as well make it universal. So number 1, the cost of education, tuition fee and hostel fee and other expenses need to be kept at bare minimum if we wish to make it affordable. Where would the money come from? The government will have to pay it. This is one of the principal things that governments all over the world spend their money on. So to say, why should taxpayers' money be used? Well, that's one of the principal use of taxpayers' money anywhere in the world. Go to Canada, go to Britain, go to most of these places. This is what they do. Number 2, this is not enough. Making it affordable would not mean making it free. Then what do? Number 2, student scholarship and fellowships need to be increased in a very, very big way. Currently, the central government spends about 1,800 crore rupees on all scholarships and fellowships in higher education. What does it mean? It means only about 600 rupees per person who's studying in higher education. 600 rupees per annum. That's a joke. It needs to be increased multifold, at least 4 to 5 times more. Number of scholarships and the amount of scholarship. If you see, we give much less scholarship than private universities in the US, which are run purely on capitalist model. They offer more scholarship and fellowships than we do. Number 3, there has to be an earn and learn component in higher education, which is to say, in the university and colleges, give students small jobs, small part-time jobs. They work up to 20 hours a week, earn some 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees from that work, which is enough, let's say, to pay their mess bills. All over the world, this is done. Why is that not done in universities? This is a dignified way. They learn to work. They also realize the significance of labor, and they subsidize their own costs. They can work in the library, they can work in the university administration. There are all kinds of sundry works in university which need to be done. Number 4, there are lots of courses which are and will remain expensive. For that, very large number of loans which are offered not on this 13% kind of rate which is being done right now. The loans have to be very heavily subsidized and backed up by the government. Yes, there would be some defaults, but you can link it to their future income. You can link it to their future salary. You can link it to their income tax returns in order to reduce the defaults. But yes, governments all over the world do this. These four things need to be done in order to make education affordable. Are these new and original ideas that I'm proposing? I'm afraid no. About 7 years ago, a committee of the Government of India, headed by Professor Chandra, who was then the director of IIM Bangalore, this committee had proposed all these measures. No action, neither by Congress government nor by this government. I was a member of the UGC then. I insisted that UGC should increase its fellowships by at least 5 to 6 times. A committee was formed. I was made the chairman. Very soon, I was dismissed from UGC. Nothing happened in that committee anymore. The fellowship scholarships remain broadly where they are. This is the big question we ought to be discussing. This is not a question about JNU. It's not a question only about higher education. We are now in a stage where millions of first-generation learners are entering the world of higher education in our country. Their parents have never seen the face of a university or college. They have talent. They are willing to work hard. They don't have money. Our constitution says equality of opportunity. Everyone should be able to pursue their dream, provided they have talent, provided they are willing to work. This is the promise of Indian Constitution. Are we willing to realize that promise? That is a big question you and I need to debate. And those who are protesting, I salute them. I salute the JNU students because their struggle has drawn the country's attention to something bigger, just as Me Too struggle did. But this struggle would reach its conclusion only when we go beyond JNU, beyond the mess bill, when we begin to address the real question of cost of higher education and how to make it equal, how to give it to everyone, irrespective of the accident of birth. That constitutional promise is what this movement draws our attention to. That is what we should be focusing on.